Hello and welcome everyone to our next episode of Help and Trade podcast, where we give space to entrepreneurs and their startups. My today's guest is Alex. I met Alex on the meetup in Basel, which we are organizing under the same name of Help and Trade. And Alex was so kind to accept the invitation to introduce himself and his venture, and especially the experience he's going through, because that's really something interesting to share with you guys. Alex, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Stefan. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Alex. I'm an IT guy. I'm working as IT consultant now for about more than 10 years. And 4 years ago, I decided to do something more, not just consulting, but building my own product and selling it to the people. So I started with a startup 4 years ago. The name of the startup is Wintermute AI.
Wintermute AI. I can't really imagine what is behind that. So if you wouldn't mind and just explain, how did you even come with the idea? What is it behind? What is it exactly? What does it do?
Yes, so I was working as a consultant on different projects. There was also a project here actually in Basel some years ago that was another startup. They built up a cloud provider, an infrastructure as a service cloud provider. And I have seen what the customers are struggling with in this project. So it was really hard for them to migrate into the cloud if they don't have the experience how to use the cloud. And based on these learnings from this project, I had this idea to make the use of the cloud easier and more secure for the customer. So that was the base idea with which I started.
That was one of the big fears at the beginning of cloud. That, hey, we are actually giving our data to someone else. How do we even make it secure? That your solution sounds like at the right moment on the right spot.
Yes, it was at this moment exactly. So there are still fears about pushing your data or your regulatory data into the cloud. And the idea of our startup was to encrypt the data before pushing it into the cloud, managing the keys inside of your company. So a lot of cloud providers offers the encryption, but they are also managing the keys. So that means they say, okay, we will not encrypt your data, but technically they would. And the idea was to keep the keys inside of your company, encrypt transparently the data if you're pushing the data into the cloud, and also hardening the whole cloud infrastructure. So based on your own rules, which you define in your company, and then applying them to different cloud providers.
Interesting. That means the data which arrived into the server farm of the cloud provider was already encrypted. It means even if he had access to your data, he would still struggle with the encryption.
Yes, so they were encrypted inside of these compute units. But from outside, it was not accessible. So the key was never saved inside of the cloud. It was encrypted on the fly. That's it, yeah.
Very interesting.
Still a good idea.
It still is a good idea. Are there other companies now providing the similar service?
There are similar, and the cloud providers itself have also implemented very similar things. So the big ones like Amazon. In the meantime, they have also that you can manage your own keys, but it's still so the unique feature which we still have, that you can use multiple cloud providers. So you use the same gateway, the cloud security gateway as we call it, and using it for different cloud providers. So you can even exchange the cloud provider, so you don't have a vendor lock-in, where the cloud providers which are offering such stuff are of course offering it only for their cloud products.
Of course.
Yeah.
That makes you build kind of forced loyalty towards them. It's difficult to step off them.
Yes.
Very interesting. And what is the stage of your company currently?
Yes, so we founded this company 4 years ago. We were on, I don't know if you know, Founder Institute. So it's like a global accelerator. We participated chapter in Munich at this time, and out of this chapter we have started this company, Wintermute, 4 years ago. Yes, so to cut a long story short, we will terminate the company by end of the year now, because it's not working as expected. So there are a lot of different things which I can share with you and everybody else, and hope that will help the people to build a more successful startup. But our isn't working out now as we expected it.
That creates tons of questions in my head right now.
Yes.
I'll also relieve you of tons of questions. I'll keep it just a few specific ones. First of all, the business-related ones. What was the main cause that you think you need to close down the company now?
There are a lot of lessons learned, of course, if you go now back. And the main, for me, I think, is about the team, the founders team. I wouldn't say that we have a bad team, but we were 2 IT guys. That means our skills were not complementary. And if I would, or I will, start again with a new startup, I will collect the team with people with complementary skills. Because if you are strong on one side, like IT, you can build and code great product, but it doesn't mean it will sell automatically.
Yes.
Yes. So you have maybe heard of this saying about a hipster, a hacker, and a hustler. You know, this is like a metaphor about what is the dream team for founding a company. But I'm sure you need like roles, maybe 5 different roles, which you need. This is one role is for finance. So somebody with a finance background, developers, so software developers, at least for if this is an IT startup, then you need sales, marketing, and some creative guy. That are roles. So that means you can have people which will have multiple roles. I would say the perfect size would be like 3 to 5 founders. And I think the team is really the biggest thing. If you have a great team, you can always develop a good product, you can sell it, or if you see it's not working, you can do a pivot to a different direction. So there are examples. It's all about team.
Understood. It's one of the main aspects when investors are looking into investing in a company. They always look at the team, the business model, the product itself. Vision, mission come afterwards, actually.
Exactly. This is exactly so. A lot of first-time founders, let's say it that way, they think they can do it alone. They have the great idea. You know, they can even code it. But it's maybe 20% or 30% of a success, really. And we have also bootstrap. This is maybe another lessons learned. Would you like to bootstrap, or would you like try to raise external money? And the thing is, bootstrap, if you decide to bootstrap, you can, of course, you have the full control. You have nobody sitting on your back, but it's slow because you need to work maybe, because you still need to spend money. You need to earn money for paying things for your startup. And if you really would like to have this grow like a hockey stick, a really startup, I would say you need external money. And if you need external money, it's again back to the team. You know, nobody will invest in a single founder. Okay, maybe in some cases they will, but in general, if you have a great team, the investor can be sure if even 1 or 2 persons jumps off, you still have enough people who can carry on and make it successful.
Very interesting. That means, all right, so we got the background of why do you think the failure of your startup was in, and the lessons that you learned from it actually regarding the team. What other aspects or factors played into it then? I
would say also if you're starting, there are a lot of people who are starting part-time. This is absolutely okay. But I would say at some point, if you got really serious about your startup, all founders should be full-time, or at least 80% or something. Because also investors, they say, okay, are you not confident with your business idea? Why do you still working if you are a founder? So you should get full-time. You should sitting in one place at least 3 days a week, I would say, because then you can really fast exchange the ideas, you know. I mean, Skype and all this video conferencing are nice things, definitely, but the founders should sit in one place, in one office, and work together on the ideas.
I see it the same way. I, for example, have the challenge of myself that I'm starting now the startup where my guys that helped me develop, they are all sitting somewhere else currently, which for me, for now, so far so good. It works pretty well for us. Wouldn't necessarily say we are up to the speed. The potential to increase, to be more efficient, of course, is there. The struggle that I have is, for example, find a co-founder, because I would require someone who actually is committed the same time as I am, and I'm full-time on it. Yes. And I have the trust against the guy that he will not backstab me at the wrong moment, and that he actually is enthusiastic about the idea itself. And that's a challenge which I'm not sure how exactly to do, just because there's a lot of factors and dependencies on other guys. And yes. Finding someone reliable these days, who actually has the commitment for long term, he wants to suffer for a while, that's really difficult to find someone.
This is really a challenge. This is also a challenge for me, for the future startups, where to find such people. So there are lots of so-called entrepreneurs, so they would like, but they don't deliver in the end. Yes. I have seen such people. So I made a good experience, as I told you, at Founder Institute, because people who survive there several weeks, it's really hard, so you are really under pressure. And you can also see them performing, because you get like tasks which you need to deliver in 1 week. And if somebody doesn't deliver 1 week or second week, you can already see, okay, he's not performing. It's not the right person, because really this is one of the things. We have to find the right team, you know. Especially don't give them shares and then after 1 year they disappear but still have a part of the company, you know.
Yeah, I was suggested this book written by a lady. I will have to find it and give it to you then, which speaks about exactly this. The writer of the book, the author, actually examined the co-founding of a company, statistically took it apart by data and found out what is actually the best model or how should you approach in which situations. I still have to read it, so I can't really give you any hints or tips. Yet I think it could be interesting reading for both of us.
Yes, definitely. It sounds very interesting. I'm reading a lot about, so I'm thinking a lot about what happened in the last 4 years. What can I make better in the next startup? The other thing, of course, I guess you know the lean startup methodology.
Yes.
And I can recommend this also to everybody, and also strictly to stay with it, to stick to lean startup methodology. So validate your problem really, and not like with positive feelings, try to validate that it's not working. And if your potential customers say they need this, they have this problem, they would like to pay for it, then you say, okay, then I have really found a problem which I can solve with my startup. You must be ashamed of your MVP. This is one of the things which goes wrong with IT guys like myself, because you still see a lot of missing features in your MVP. You must be ashamed. You should start immediately selling from begin. And you should have a very bad feeling to selling this not ready product to customers. If you don't feel this way, it's not an MVP. It's already early version of a final version, you know.
Now you give me hope, because I really feel like that about our MVP right now.
And then that's a real MVP, you know.
Good to know, because we're about to plan now going on the market, try to push it, test it out with the real audience. We do not yet have implemented payment gateways. So far everything is for everybody free of charge, and just try. Give us the data about how you use it so that we know better where to improve it, how to do it. And
I would also not even found a new company until I have the first paying customer. And this first paying customer can also send the money to your private PayPal account or something. I wouldn't even invest too much. Don't try to optimize or set up perfect processes before you have found your business idea and validated your business plan, which is working. Because it all costs you resource. I mean, you are burning resources, right? This is time and money.
Yes.
As you start, you're either not earning money, which you can make as an IT consultant, like you were one and I'm still, or you have external money, which you are really burning. And everything what goes away from your core business idea, this will just slow you down. So I would just, the first customers, these are anyway, so usually early adopters, this is maybe a different type of customer as you will have in the end. They will even send the money to your private PayPal account.
Great. I'm really optimistic now. I feel great now about that. Actually, we are doing so far all right. Great. Now I would like to actually move to your personal experience from. How do you feel about closing down the startup that you invested so much time, heavily, so much effort, energy? How is that process to first realize it, that, all right, something's maybe not going as well as expected, that reality check was there? And how did that develop with you over the time that you actually made that break point, like, all right, enough?
So the signs, of course, if something goes into the wrong direction, you receive them quite early already. But you, of course, if you are an entrepreneur, you are not giving just up, you know. You think, okay, I can make it, I will do it better, I do it better. But the signs are there. And especially for IT guys, you think if you can't sell your product, there is missing feature. So you try to add a new feature and a new feature, you know, but the things are going maybe in the wrong direction. I can understand this now also because this is the thinking of the IT guys. And if the team would be more with the broader skills, then maybe some other people would early enough say, no, we don't need new features. Either we can sell it like this or we need to go into completely other direction. So the signs are quite early in the process, and that's why I said stick to lean. First, really validate, have paying customer, because this is the best validation for your business idea. If somebody is ready to pay. And for me, it's now 4 years. So, and for the last year, I told you before the interview that I already knew, okay, if it's not going to work, then by end of the year, we will close it. So now I'm prepared. I can talk about this, I can analyze, but it's of course very hard in the beginning. If you see your business idea is not working. So I have spent 1 year full time. So I have stopped my consultancy business and I was doing full year only developing this business idea. Afterwards, it was not working. I started already part-time again working because of course you need money to live. Yeah. So that was step after step. You realize that it's not working, and then it's hard, of course. It will be hard for everybody, but If you are the person who a really startup, a real entrepreneur, then you can get over it, you learn from it, and then you start over again, which I now will do again, so by next year.
This is one of the things that I'm listening from the famous entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley and I don't know where they all say the failing is not a problem. You either need to keep on going or you need to learn from that and then start from zero. But you have to have the reality check always on. But failing is not a problem. And you just need to make it once. That will make you the accomplishment for the rest of your life, eventually, but keep on going.
Definitely. So one also of the lessons learned is failing fast. If you see it's not working, you better stop it. So either choose a completely different direction. If you have a great team, you can build up another business idea, or see, okay, we had maybe here a small idea or a small part of our product. Maybe we can just push it or build from it another product. And failing fast is definitely also because time is very
precious commodity.
You don't have it unlimited. So better to start with something new, which you will have success instead of wasting time maybe riding a dead horse. So failing fast is definitely one of the things which I would say. And also if I start again now and looking for a new team, of course, people who have already once failed or were part, maybe even a co-founder, maybe in a startup which failed, they are, of course, also they have very good knowledge, very valuable knowledge beside or compared to a first-time entrepreneur who are just really motivated and think it will just work like this. It will not, of course, it will be hard. But those people who already failed once, that's a really valuable experience they have.
Really great to see that you're already looking forward to the future, how you're going to do the next venture. Do you have any idea about what you want to do?
I have several ideas, of course. Like a real entrepreneur, you have always ideas, right?
Yes.
You see always legs and you say, okay, you can do this and this and this. I have several ideas. I won't talk about this now because I'm also open for starting on a different idea, maybe if somebody else looking for co-founders, if it's the right team. So for me, it's now really team is everything. I'm trying to build now a network, talk to people, visiting events, looking for other founders and startups, what's going on.
Very interesting. Well, I hope to see you on multiple meetups which you're organizing here in Basel.
Definitely.
That will be great.
I'm really enjoying it.
That's nice to hear. I'm glad that we have fruits of the meetups. One thing that would be interesting for me to know, which I am currently struggling partially with, is marketing, for example. That is a field that I have zero experience with. I am trying to learn it, and I also got now help from a new team member, which I appreciate extremely. What was your lesson from marketing? What you're going to do different, and how did you even do that?
So I was in the same situation like you. So I was also unexperienced in marketing. That was also one of the roles I told before. So these different 5 roles which I see, and one of them is marketing. So where you should have somebody on the team who either have already the knowledge, that's the best, or is keen to learn this, one of the roles. We had to learn this because we started business to business model, which is quite different to business to consumer. We didn't spend a lot of thoughts about this before. We thought we can do advertising on Google, Twitter or something and sell products to enterprise. It turned out it's not working that way because in the enterprise, if you are selling to customers, they are still expecting you to go on site to have salespeople who will sell then to them the product. So that was one of the surprises. It means also you can't scale over the internet. Your sales, you need then to build up local sales in different countries. And also, if you read a lot of books, like to do Google AdWords and so on, it's quite expensive actually. So I remember I was really surprised in the beginning. Cloud security, click on the first page on Google AdWords about 50 euros just for a click, on the really top place. And that's a lot of money, especially if you're bootstrapping. So
yes.
If you are bootstrapping, it's a lot of money. If you have external money, it's still a lot, but you have then a budget which you can do. I can just encourage to get professional people to really see where is my customer, what's the channels for my customer. Get people on board who can support you on this way of experience. You can learn it by yourself, but you will again burn your resources, which is time.
That's why I'm so happy that I have now the team member.
Congratulations.
Yes, Thomas is great. I'm really happy.
Yeah,
And I'm really wondering how it's going to work also for you for the future. I'm crossing the fingers for you, of course.
Thank you.
Are you actually trying to create a venture again in the IT industry? Are you true to your one industry?
No. So IT is now everywhere. So I think everything what you start, so maybe 80-70% of this will still somehow based on IT. So you will have a web page, you have some sales and everything. So IT is still everywhere, I would say, but not mainly in the IT business. I have ideas for the IT business. Maybe I will do this, maybe not. I have other ITs which are not related directly to the IT, so maybe where IT will play a big role, like artificial intelligence is now a big topic in the IT, so you can use it, but not primarily just for IT products, but for other products integrating. So this is a big field now, which is developing. So like cloud computing was maybe 5-7 years ago.
Yes, which continuously is getting better and better.
Yes, we have now the capacity. So technology is not that new, which is used, like neural networks and so on. So we know them already for 10 or 20 years or even longer. But now we have the capacity, you have now the services, the cloud providers are offering the services where you don't need that deep knowledge to start using it or implementing it into applications.
That's one of the, I think, great advantages of IT in general as an industry. Because when a new technology comes in, it starts as very complicated things where only few people know it, and then it takes a while. But those IT guys who started first, they implement it so that the next generation of IT guys who come in have an easier path towards it. So they create a documentation, they make things easier for them, they package the solution, they make APIs out of it. And then the implementation all of a sudden starts to be easier, where then also the business cases starts to pop up. Like, hey, we actually can implement it for this and that and this. I think this is why the technology is increasingly getting better, faster, and grows exponentially compared to other industries.
Definitely. This is also one of the recommendations which I can give. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Try to offshore everything you can. Try to use solutions even if you need to pay for them. So use OPEX over CAPEX. Use everything what you can as a startup in the cloud. If you can buy it, everything. Don't look for the perfect, completely integrated platform. It's completely okay if you use free version of Slack for your team communication and using Google Hangouts for the video conferencing. It's for free. Later, if your business is running and you are making money, you can buy something, one version. Just offshore everything, what is not your core business. And there are really good offers from companies for small startup teams, like up to 5 members. It's really cheap. Use it. If you need artificial intelligence, try to use one from these big cloud providers like Amazon or Microsoft.
Google has now an
Google,
API,
of
which
course.
is, yeah.
Yes. So if you can use such things, even if it costs you money, use it. Because it will, again, save very valuable resources like time. Even if you pay a little bit of money, it's still cheaper if you have a full professional on board and you need to pay him and he will develop from scratch. Of course, you will need for you some unique products. You will need to get some professional, but in the beginning, try to offshore everything you can.
Understood. Very valuable tip. At the very beginning, when I was just playing with the idea of starting a startup, I was trying to talk to as many people, trying to convince myself that the business model which I'm trying to implement will not work. Trying to make it a proof of concept, but my take on it was from the negative perspective. Convince me that it cannot be done. And so I was trying to reach out to various different people. Also within the company I was working for, from managing directors to managers and even to analysts. Everyone I met knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted them to challenge the idea. What I took from that lesson was most of the guys, depending on their role, they all had different ideas, of course, how to do that. But the more experienced the person was, the more it went to the direction, do the sales, bootstrap, take it easy on parts which are not necessary for you, processes, overhead of bureaucracy, concentrate on the core functionality of what is it exactly what you do, where you make the difference with your value, what you bring to the customer, and you also need to communicate it properly. What is actually the value for the customer? Find the customer, use the channel in which he is around, and just push it towards that one specific customer. Whether it's a niche that you're trying to implement, all of that. Your words just confirmed exactly those lessons which the guys tried to give me.
Definitely. So also, of course, nobody will say right in your face that your business idea is crap. Nobody will do this. So people won't tell you. There are special interview techniques which you can use to validate that your business idea will work. Also, people will always give you some hints, but the most valuable are from paying customers, of course. If a paying customer says this feature is missing or this is the most valuable. Talking to people is very important. You receive ideas from the people for free where you would need weeks searching for this on the internet, and people who already passed maybe this stage of business development where you are in, they will give it for free in 5 minutes. So this is very important. This is right. Again, you should be careful with business idea with the feedback. Nobody will sell you, no, this idea is not right. But as you said, the experienced people told you to concentrate on this, and this is absolutely right. So first, try to sell, don't optimize. Don't start optimizing before you have a working business model.
I find this discussion between us extremely valuable. And I think also our...
Thank you. So I'm really happy that I can help maybe one guy or maybe even more with my experience now from the past, how to do it better.
Definitely. If nobody else, then at least I am definitely thankful for your lesson of today.
Thank you, Stefan.
It was really a pleasure talking to you, Alex. I hope I can do something for you in the future. We'll definitely stay in touch.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, anything, you can always lay down on me and I'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Alex, one more thing. How can people contact you if they are interested into getting in touch with you?
Yes, so I'm building up my network now with like-minded people. Everybody can contact me. You can drop me an email on alex@wintermute.ai or look at me on LinkedIn. If you try to contact me on LinkedIn, just drop maybe a short notice. Where is the contact coming from? So I've heard you in the podcast and would like to talk about this and this. And then I know where this contact is coming from. Always happy to accept and to build my network.
Great. Thank you very much, Alex. I'll make sure that in the blog post there will be your contact details so people can approach you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope our listeners also enjoyed it and they've learned something from today. Your experience, extremely valuable. Thank you for that. Alex, have a great day. And to our listeners, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we are looking forward to present to you next episode within the next 1 or 2 weeks. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.